I just got one thing to say before we start this
What?
show or whatever you want to call it.
What is it?
Why are you wearing sunglasses when it's almost 8 o'clock at night, bro?
You know that outlet, your seatbelt.
Oh, yeah, you drive like a maniac, don't you?
I wear them at the club.
I know, it's your style, it's your look.
I might do a giveaway. I'm gonna buy 3.
I'm gonna get one so I can copy you and be like you.
To give them. I have a picture of you with those guys.
Okay.
I might buy them and give them away at the anniversary party. For the first time, the first episode with DJ Lalo in the fucking building. I think I'm gonna call Enjoy the Trip. So enjoy the trip. Where we gonna go and why?
So for all that don't know, I don't live in Madison. I live in
We're in James Vegas.
Yep, James Vegas, Lanesville, whatever you want to call it, the Ville, Jamesville, Wisconsin,
Somewhere in
southern Wisconsin. My favorite spot in Jamesville would probably be La Fiesta Mexicana, yo. That's the joint. So that's where I want to go.
La Fiesta Mexicana. You know the El Taquero, the one that works there, Carlos?
That's my boy.
That's my guy too. Whenever I used to work at Cricket, some of you guys don't know, but I used to work at Cricket here in Janesville. And he was off on Tuesdays. So every time he would need to pay his bill or do something with his phone, he will go and with his, everybody, bro. Like, like the mom, the kids, everybody. And one time I was super busy, bro. And he got in and he was like, hey, ¿cuánto tiempo se va a tardar? And I was like, no, como unas 2 horas, bro. Because I had like 5 customers, bro. And I was by myself. So, dice, okay, ahorita vengo, And me preguntó, ¿ya comiste? It was like 2 p.m. And I said, no, ahorita como. Okay, I'll come back. He left. 2 hours later, he came back and he brought me food, bro. He got me lunch. I was like, oh, my God.
Carlos is the man, yo. I'd have to say La Fiesta is probably the joint. If you want Mexican food, that's where you go. I mean, so many people.
What's your favorite food there?
All of it, man. I just like the way he cooks. He has that.
I like his attention.
Yeah.
Customer service, right?
Yeah, that too. He's a cool guy. He's dope. I really like his personality and just, it's cool, yo. He's mi gente, yo. He's one of us, and I think he's a cool cat, and he's a good chef, and it's not just him in the restaurant in the back. I think it's just the whole environment of that restaurant and the store and the grocery store in the front, people who own it, their family. Like it's just a cool,
a family-owned place.
It's a cool vibe. So if you're in Janesville,
we're gonna put the address right here. That way you guys, whenever
check out
you guys
La Fiesta Mexicana in Janesville, yo. It's a grocery store, but in the back they got a little taqueria in the back. It's dope.
Yeah, we're gonna put the address right here, so whenever you visit or pass by Janesville, swing by, get some tacos, tortas, extended menu, so go check it out. Now that you said Wisconsin, you want to tell him what we're working on?
So, me and CHOKO been trying to expand our parties from nighttime to daytime, but also not just Latin music. We want to do more genres of music, but also keep doing the Latin music, but also incorporate Latin music with what we want to do. But we want to kind of lean towards doing more stuff than just Latin. So we've been trying to throw a day party, and we finally got a spot where we could do one. So August 10th, mark your calendars. We'll drop the flyer out here soon. We've been working on it. But we're going to be throwing a day party actually at CHOKO's job. It's going to be outdoor patio. Obviously, yes, we're gonna DJ. So we're gonna pull all of those old school bangers from throwbacks to hip hop, R&B, and of course your classic Latin tracks. So it's gonna be a mix of everything. So if you love music, you know, and you like food, come out. I kind of forgot the name of the restaurant, so I'll let him.
Ivia La Taguara. It's a Venezuelan restaurant. We're gonna put the address. We're dropping the flyer soon, as he said. But yeah, shout out to Jacob for letting us throw this event. And yeah, I hope you guys can make it there. It's gonna be during the day. I believe we don't have time confirmed yet. We don't even have date confirmed yet, but most likely it's gonna be on the 10th, August 10th, and most likely it's gonna be from 2 to 8.
Yeah, it's gonna be on a Sunday, so I know
yes.
You might party hard on a Saturday. If you want to party again, come through on a Sunday.
Get some food, some drinks.
Yep.
Pa curar la cruda.
It's summertime. You guys gotta chill, enjoy. So we want to try and bring something different to Madison and to our crowd. We might have some special guest DJs as well.
Yes,
but obviously we'll be there. We'll be spinning. But we're trying to bring a different concept to Madison as far as day events, day parties. So if this goes well, we'll keep doing it, and probably for next year, we'll do it bigger. But this is our, kind of like our first one. We kind of did a run in Verona, was a little bit different, but this one's gonna be a little bit different than that. So I think it's gonna be dope. So come on out, check it out.
And talking about R&B and like throwbacks, which is gonna be the vibe of that event, is that what you like originally started spinning before like Latin? Like before like salsa and all this stuff? Is that what you original? Like what came first? The love for music or the love for DJing?
So I got into DJing when I was like 12 years old. So a long time ago.
Like in the 60s?
Not like that old. Early 90s. So I got into DJing when the same time I got into breakdancing. So I used to break dance before anything. I used to dance. I was a dancer. I was into hip hop. I did a lot of breakdancing. So actually, I learned it from my uncle in Mexico. I went to Mexico City for a summer, and I stayed with my tío. And he lived in Mexico City, and I didn't know this at the time. I met my uncle and stuff but I was young. I was probably like 10 or 11, or I don't know, I was like close to 11 or 12.
Was that the first time you went to Mexico?
No, it wasn't the first time.
Okay.
But so I was there, and we went down to, so this is in Mexico City, so we went down to the central area of Mexico City, and they had these dudes doing tricks and dancing. It was really cool. It was the first time I ever seen that type of style dancing in real life, but I've seen it in movies and videos and stuff like that, like music videos back then. So when we came back to my uncle's house, he was like, "Oh, how was your day? What'd you guys do?" And I told him about what we saw, and he was like, "You want to hear something crazy, or you want to see something crazy?" He started, and I was like, "Yeah, sure." And he started whipping out some breakdancing moves, and I was like, "Yo, what the heck? This dude's old, and he's throwing down." I was just like, "This is so cool."
How old was your uncle at that time?
Oh, he's probably, at that time he probably wasn't that old. He's probably in his late 30s.
And for you, he was old as fuck?
Yeah.
And look at us now.
I'm in my 30s. It's crazy. But, that was that same night he started to teach me the moves, and then when we came back to the States, that's all I did was dance, and got into hip hop and learned the history. But back then they didn't have YouTube and all that stuff, so I had to really find and dig how to get into knowing what to do and finding that stuff.
Were you already living in Janesville?
Yeah, I was in
so whenever
Janesville.
you came back, you came back here to the Ville, and then was the culture here even 2-3 guys that will dance, or what do you?
No,
what
there
do
was
you do?
nothing. There was nothing here. It was just me.
Because we're talking about early 90s, you said.
Yeah.
Or late 90s.
Yeah, that was probably late 90s then. And
so what do you do?
Nothing. I just kind of just did it on my own. Watched videos, movies, and MTV, TRL, and all those you know,
There was no YouTube, so videos you mean like on TV?
Yeah, and just watched it, imitated it, and then eventually there was an actual hip hop event in Beloit, Wisconsin, which is like the next city over. Because we saw a little flyer for
Detroit.
it, and we saw a flyer for it at one of the stores here, and it said like DJ battle, breaking battle. And so my sister, she was really big into hip hop, and she took me. So we went, we checked it out. I mean, it was just so cool. And then after that, that's when I really got into it and wanted to do more. And that's when I, you know, saw DJing too. So the DJing started to pick up. I remember getting like bunches, like back then you had CDs, so you had carried I had a lot of CDs and cassette tapes and vinyls, and you know, they didn't have laptops back then like we do now, and just kind of taught myself. And then eventually, as I got older, when I got a car, I started going to Rockford and Chicago a lot, and Milwaukee and Madison, but I stayed in Rockford a lot because that was the closest hip-hop scene that was really big.
Bigger scene than here in Janesville.
Yeah, because Janesville didn't have
I guess it's
one.
closer to Chicago, so
yeah, and then
it's easier for people to go up from Elgin and all these like.
Yeah, and at that time I was like 16, and the guys that I were hanging out with, they were all like hella older than me, but you know, they all were DJs, graffiti artists, rappers, and they were breakers. So like they taught me all that stuff. But I honestly just stuck with the breaking and the DJing because I couldn't really rap.
So you started with the breaking, like dancing, before DJing.
Yeah.
And then DJing came after.
Yeah. And then I would say when I started.
That's the graffiti, bro.
When I started DJing, obviously since I was in the hip hop scene and culture, that's the type of music I played or would, you know, was spin, you know. I mean, I didn't play for any parties. It was just like at my house. So, but it wasn't until like my parents actually started having parties, and they were like, oh, you should DJ the party. So I started DJing for my parents' parties. That's where it started. And then my sister, because she was older, when she graduated, when she was in her senior year, they had a lot of parties back then. So what she did was she would tell her friends, oh, my brother's a DJ. You know, they would have me come and DJ for their graduation parties or house parties. I was like, you know, in middle school going to high school parties to DJ. I mean, I didn't get paid. It was just something to do and have fun. And
but
so that's
go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say that just, you know, that's kind of where it started, like me playing at places. Started at home, DJing for my parents at home and their parties, and then my sister would connect me with her friends when they would have house parties or graduation parties, and then I started doing that. And then once I saw that potential, that's when I started saving my money to buy better equipment, better stuff. And then that's when I'd say like towards my senior year of high school is when I started DJing
more, like,
yeah, professionally. I did weddings, I did birthday parties, I did school dances, I did graduation parties, because back then people would have parties all the time, not like they do now. They had a lot of house parties, so we did that.
And when I mean, you said that you started like with, like, you know, like the spinning the music that you will dance to. Whenever your sister would say, hey, come DJ my friend's, you know, house party or whatever, will you spin that music, or will you, what kind of music will you like?
So for my parents, it would be like when I DJ for my parents, my mom was really big into disco music.
What was popping? Oh, well, disco music was already like oldies by then.
Yeah, so I mean, I did like older, I would say older white music, but
Mira este puñetas, mira este.
I would do older white, like, you know, white music. And then for my sister's crowd of friends, it was like, you know, rap and hip hop and party music that was popular back in the late 90s and early 2000s. Like what we call throwbacks back then, that's the music that was popping. Yeah. So like that type of music. And as time went on, as I got older, I still DJ'd, but I didn't DJ a lot. Because I was more better at dancing than I was DJing, so I danced more. I did more with dancing. I would DJ here and there, and eventually, when I moved to Minnesota, is kind of when I didn't stop DJing, but I still, like I said,
you focus more on dancing.
I focused more on dancing, and then
When? Go ahead.
it wasn't until maybe 2019 is when I got back into DJing. When I was living in Minneapolis, I was working at a place when this guy, well, actually, when I lived in Minnesota, I lived in a house with a bunch of dudes. It was like a frat house, basically, with a bunch of guys. So obviously we partied a lot, and we basically just threw parties at the house, and I would be the one DJing. So then our parties would be so big, we started doing them so more often, and we just had fucking house parties like every weekend almost. And when we would go out, but we would have a lot of house parties because we just throw some cool house parties. We would, literally.
This in Minnesota?
Yeah, we would literally have we have had, oh man, I remember one time we had over like 100 people in our house. We had people upstairs, downstairs, in the garage, outside. I mean, it was crazy.
Project X type of
yeah,
shit?
it was. I mean, it was cool, but everybody, it was. The thing is, when we had parties, people dance. It wasn't like how people, when they have house parties, they just sit around and they drink or they smoke, and they don't do shit. When we had parties, because a lot of us were dancers, people would come party, but then you would have people dancing, and sometimes we would have battles of, breakdance battles. Yeah. I mean, it was cool. I mean, that's how we threw down. I think people like that. They like that energy and that vibe. So,
what was the wildest party that you had? Or a story, a good story that you're like, bro?
Oh, man, I don't know. I mean, there's so many. I mean, I think just the times when cops would show up, and fuck up our shit, or
Look at this fucking.
I don't know. It's not them. It's you. Just don't know how to drive, bro. I don't know. We had a lot of parties. I mean, there's a lot of memories and stuff. I don't know. I wouldn't say there wasn't really a crazy one. They were just pretty all equal. I mean, the craziest thing would just cops would show up. But
remember when the cops show up and you went to pick me up, or you went to pick me and our friend up here in Janesville?
Oh yeah. A quick short story, because I've known CHOKO for a long time. People don't know people know CHOKO from Madison, but CHOKO's actually, well, from what I know, he lived in Janes, so that's how we met.
Yeah. I went to school in Janesville too. I moved in Madison 2017.
CHOKO's a little younger than me, and I remember he used to hang out with one of my cousins named Chongo. Shout out to Chongo. And I remember they called me.
Tuesday night.
I don't know if they called me to bring them liquor or whatever, but I think Chongo called me and was like, hey, come to this party or come pick me up or something. But we went, me and my other guy that knows them went to go pick them up, or went over there. We go in, and I think at the time, I was older. I think CHOKO was still in high school.
Yeah, we were seniors, I believe.
Yeah, and I think I was out of school, and we get there, and we go in, and I see a bunch of people we know, and then someone comes running in, freaking out, saying that the cops are there.
Keep in mind that this is on a Tuesday night,
and I think the person that had the house wasn't even there.
Yeah.
So these are just random kids at some random kid's house that weren't even there. So the parents weren't there. The kid wasn't even there. I think it was the girlfriend or the boyfriend of the person who lived there hosted a party at their house.
Yeah. So the thing is that the person that owned the house went up to camp or whatever, and the friend knew that they were not gonna be home, so they were like, fuck it, I have access to the house, I know how to get to the house because they're my friends, let's throw a fucking party at my friend's house. So that people that owned the house weren't even there, but a friend that knew how to get in the house was throwing the party.
Yeah, crazy story. Tell me, when I got there, I was like, what am I doing here? But anyways, we get there, this person runs in, and it's like, yo, the cops are outside, everyone's freaking out, everyone runs down. Choco was fucking probably thinking La Migra's there or some shit. He's fucking running downstairs, hiding, and so funny
Cops
thing is,
showed up,
me and my friend who are older, we ran down there too, thinking like, oh shit.
Everybody that was not 21 went to the basement.
But after a couple minutes, I'm looking at my friend like, why are we hiding? We're not even drinking, and two, like, we're old enough to drink. I think at the time we might have not have been, but we're at least old enough to be like out and not past curfew or whatever. So we're just like, let's just fucking leave. Like, this is ridiculous. I'm not gonna sit here and hide.
Yeah. Then
So
you walk out.
So I told Chango and Choco, I was like, are you guys gonna ride with us out? And they're like, no, we're gonna stay. So we're like, all right, whatever. So we dipped. But good thing when we left, there was no cops out there. There was nobody. It was just funny because all these kids are downstairs hiding in the dark, and we leave. There's nobody there.
But then they did show up.
Yeah, but I guess because I think Chango did call us and said they came.
Yeah, they were like, they went to the basement. They broke in the house. They went to the basement, and then they were calling one by one, taking names and stuff, giving tickets.
Good thing we left. We left at a perfect time because when we left, there was no cops outside. But yeah, that was a funny crazy story with Choco.
Anyway, when did you move to Minnesota?
2013. I think.
How long were you up there for?
2012, 2013, and I moved back in right after COVID, so 2021.
And you were there for a good 8 years?
Yeah, close to 10 years, yeah.
Didn't seem like a lot.
Yeah. So yeah, so basically, to finish the DJ story, we did house parties, so I got back into DJing, and then my coworkers eventually pushed me to be like, yo, you should be DJing at clubs here in Minnesota. I was like, nah. And then I knew a guy that I work with who was in this DJ scene, club scene in Minnesota, so he kind of helped me get into some clubs and stuff like that. So I started DJing at clubs, but they were mostly Latin clubs, and I am Mexican, but I'm only mixed, so I'm half Mexican and half Irish. So that's a little
side note right there.
Yep. So I mean, I liked Spanish music. I grew up with it, but not as much as I probably should have. And being Mexican, I didn't really grow up with Mexican music, or that, as far as that culture of music. We did listen to Spanish music, but for some reason my family was really into cumbia and salsa. So I know a lot of salsa and cumbia music, and I like it. As far as norteñas and all that stuff, I know it now because of this guy. But before that, honestly, I wasn't really into it or really know much about it. But when I started DJing at the clubs in Minnesota, they were mainly reggaeton nights. So I got in. Urban nights, reggaeton nights. I mean, I knew reggaeton. I liked reggaeton, so I listened to it, but I never really played it. And then I got into playing reggaeton a lot. And then, I fell in love in doing that. And so I was DJing a lot in Minnesota, reggaeton nights. And once in a while, it's been salsa nights or like cumbia nights. But that's pretty much it.
You did a couple of gasolina parties?
Yeah, there was a few times I did gasolina party nights where it's like a big.
Yeah, for those of you guys that don't know, gasolina party, it's a name of the party. I think it's based in California, and they rent venues all over the states. Like, what I mean venues is like big venues, like theaters, like big nightclubs, and then they bring it to different parts of the country, right? So if they bring it to Minnesota, whatever, they get a DJ, or sometimes they even fly a DJ. Oh, what the fuck, it's closed. They even fly a DJ to spin on those parties, and he did. How many do you do in Minnesota?
I think 2 or 3. For sure 2, it might have been 3. But so yeah, I mean, those were probably like our biggest nights, and probably one of the biggest parties I've done. And the venues I've done, those were the biggest venues I've probably been into because they were really nice.
Do you remember the names?
The Varsity. We would always do it at the Varsity in Minnesota, downtown Minneapolis. I don't remember, but it's huge. It's cool. It's a cool venue. But yeah, and then I moved back here, and honestly, when I moved back to Janesville, I was really honestly just like, oh, I'm gonna have to give up DJing because as Janesville, there really ain't shit here, and there's nothing here.
Shout out to Janesville.
Yeah, but I had the idea, like, I want to throw parties here, so I had ideas to do it, and I actually hit up Choco, but it was funny because he had the same idea at the same time, and he's like, well, why don't you come to Madison, and you can spin with me up here until you can figure something out in Janesville. And I was like, cool, I'll do that.
So you came back in what, 2021?
Yeah.
2022-ish. And I actually started going. I did I was gonna do my first nightclub gig April 2020, but due to COVID, it got canceled, bro. I was super excited. I got my my crates, my music together. I was super excited at this hookah bar that right now is gone. It doesn't exist anymore. But they booked me, and then COVID comes, and then I'm like, fuck, So I stopped DJing. I didn't DJ out in the public for whatever COVID lasted. So whenever I picked back up, which was what, 2023, somewhere around there, I was like, okay, now that it's like places are opening back up, I'm gonna go for it. And I started DJing in a nightclub there in the south side of Madison, and I was like, this is, I like it, but I want to do something a little bit different. I feel every DJ does this type of events, at least in Madison. I want to do something different, and that's when I got in contact with you. What do you think whenever I hit you up for the first time that we were gonna have that gig in San Prairie?
Honestly, I didn't know, because I've never seen you really DJ besides from what you put on your stories and stuff like that. Because when I met you here in Janesville, you weren't DJing yet. You started DJing when I moved to Minnesota, so
right.
I didn't know what to expect. But I'm all down for like trying new things and supporting people. So that's that's what I wanted to do. And I was like, hey, I'll if you're willing to. If you're reaching out and asking me for help, I'm down. So yeah, but I gotta give a big shout out to Choko, because honestly, if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be where I am now with DJing. I feel like, because like I said, when I was gonna move back, I didn't expect to DJ at all. And I probably should give a shout out to Eric too, man. DJ Luno from Beloit. Yeah, it's from Beloit. Shout out to Eric, because he also, I feel like these two guys really motivated me and pushed me to stay DJing. I think they saw, something in me, and because I kept saying like, I don't know if I really want to keep DJing, because like I don't see me doing anything, because I lived in the small dinky town Janesville. But they, Eric was like, come to Beloit, I'll help you get you gigs, and same with Choko. Choco's like, come to Madison, and so that's what I did. And it just, as time went on, it just got. It picked up, and then I started doing my own thing here in Janesville. So now I spin at the farmers market here and kind of do my own little event style thing. I like to do.
When do you spin? When do you usually do? That's 3 Saturdays out of the month.
Yeah, they want me every Saturday, but I just try not to stay too busy. So I do 3 Saturdays a month right now. Maybe next year.
Downtown Janesville.
Yep, downtown Janesville. If you ever want to come to the farmers market. And Janesville, you can come through.
What time?
8 a.m. to 1 p.m. I play a lot of older music, like soul, funk, R&B, hip hop, breaks. Everything. Pretty much everything that describes me and my life and what I grew up with. And
what talking about this that describes you, like, how do you? I know what you think about this, but they don't know. I don't even know how to put this question together, but like the way you, like, DJing is an art, right? It's an art because you're like expressing yourself through music, but you're expressing yourself, right? So whenever you they tell you like, do you think, you know, like you do in the farmers market, like what is the perspective that you get? Like, I'm gonna show you what I like, or I'm gonna show you how I spin, or like what is it that, you know, that you do you? How would you explain that?
I think for me, it's like telling a story. I think I tell a story through the music that I play, because, like I said, a lot of the music that I play is music. Well, the music I play is not music that I grew up with, or isn't. Some of it's not from my time. Some of it is from my time. Some of it isn't from my time. Like, I wasn't around when this music came out, but I learned it from my dad, from what he listened to, what I heard from him listening, my mom, my sister, and then being part of that hip hop culture. One thing that people don't know is that hip hop culture, the real hip hop culture, isn't just hip hop. I mean, hip hop can be anything. Like what we're doing right now in this car is hip hop, because when we would go to a dance competition, what we call b-boy battles, breaking battles, or breakdancing battles, they don't play hip hop. I mean, they do, but a lot of the music you hear is like the music from that time when breaking was around, when breaking started, which was like the early 70s. And so you hear, like, you know, disco tracks, you hear funk tracks, you hear soul tracks, and you hear tracks like Latin breaks. Like, it's music that you wouldn't, if you heard it, you probably wouldn't think it's hip hop or consider hip hop, but the way they DJs play it and the atmosphere it's played in, it's hip hop. And I think that being involved with the hip hop culture and being involved as a dancer and a breaker really helped my DJ skills and my music skills, because you see in a different perspective. And I think that's really what makes me different from a lot of DJs out here, besides the ones that who do know that culture and come from that culture. They understand, but I think other DJs don't know that, you know, and I think that's what makes me different, and I would say special from a lot of DJs out here, is because I'm gonna play.
That's what makes you unique.
Yeah, and how I play. Well, when I play me, you'll hear it. When I play me, you're gonna see and hear that, you know, and I think that's what makes me different.
Well, how I will compare is like, you know, like let's say I'm gonna put this example. I'm gonna try to put it together the way my head is thinking it. The majority of our crowd, you know, likes reggaeton because we do reggaetons, you know, reggaeton events. So reggaeton comes from reggae, right? Mm-hmm. And then there's like new sounds that you add, right? But in reality, it's a movement, you know. Hip hop is also a movement / culture that's combined, you know, from 4 elements, right? Mm-hmm. Graffiti, b-boy, dancing, DJing, and rapping, right? MCing. Now, the sound, you know, whenever we say hip hop, whenever Lalo says hip hop, the sound comes from different, because whenever you dance, you know, there's not such a thing of like, it's a, like, let's say you get salsa, you get cumbia, and then you put in a blender, you know, and then you break dance. That's why it's called break dance, okay? Because it's like chops of different movements, and then you add your own style, your unique touch to the presentation of your dance, right? Mm-hmm. Whenever you're combining, you might add a salsa movement, but then you add this. The sound comes from music genres that were already a thing before, mm-hmm. you know, rap. You know, that's why sometimes it sounds like funk, sometimes it sounds like, you know, like blues. You know, sometimes it's jazzy. You know, because that's what, you know, that's what the name of songs from like the 90s is, the funky beat. but it's still hip hop.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't know if I explain it however I'm thinking it, or if you guys got it that way. I'm trying to.
No, you said it. I think while you said it was good, and
It's comparison.
Yeah.
That way they understand. You know, reggaeton comes from reggae, but nowadays it has fucking pianos. The
Yeah.
beats. Synthetic sounds. So now that's how you present it. Like, and
Yeah.
now if you have a reggaeton artist, like, just for throwing names, Bad Bunny, Fade, all these, legends, that are popping right now. You hear him singing to, like, maybe a soul, or like something that has like soul, like Todo de Ti by Raúl Alejandro is not a reggaeton beat. You know what I'm saying? That's just something to compare.
Mm-hmm.
So
No, I think you're right. I mean, in other words, it's basically like everything comes from something, and a lot of people are inspired by different things, and they might take that and then use it in their own way and express it in their own way.
Right.
And then that's where you get, different things from different things, so like different cultures.
And I think just that way you keep going, but like that's why whenever you express a dance move and somebody else express it before you,
Oh yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Because it's like, oh, bro, you're not being unique. Like.
Well, that's a whole different topic,
No, but like,
Yeah, but yeah. I mean, yeah, that's called biting. But biting can be in anything.
Yeah, right.
I mean, rappers
A
can
rhyme,
bite.
a rhyme.
Yeah, DJs can bite. Same sets, whatever. I mean, it's part of that's just hip hop culture. I mean, but yeah.
What do you think about that? Like, what do you think about putting your routine, your move out there without being afraid of it, like, oh, somebody's gonna steal it, somebody's gonna bite it?
Well, and nowadays,
what's your thought about that?
And nowadays, to me, it's like it's whatever, because in today's world, it's so easy to imitate and copy anybody because the internet, it's out there for everyone to see. Back then in the days, like, you knew, especially when it came to dancing, you knew if you saw a style, you knew who it came from, because like there was breakers back then that were known for certain moves from that area, and usually that area people would dance like that top dog from that area. And so when you go to different events and travel, I mean, back then they didn't have YouTube or all these social media stuff to see people,
to make it more public.
Yeah,
Or
and so back then the only way you could see someone do those moves is
live,
by going to the event.
Mm-hmm.
Or getting a VHS tape and watching the old footage. So
VHS.
but now it's all over the internet. I can go on YouTube and type in a battle from Europe or Korea,
and you'll see it,
and I can see those moves, and I can imitate that, practice that move at home, and then pretend I came up with it. But reality, I bit that guy's move. So. And same with music, I can copy that whole DJ set or whatever. So I mean, it's so easy now to bite, but what I think of it is, like, if you're gonna copy somebody, at least give credit, or
do a little,
get influenced by it and then make it your own. Don't do it bit by bit. Change it up a little bit.
What I think is, like, just we go back to hip hop. For me, hip hop is aprender, enseñar, compartir. Okay? So if you get something, I wanna die with nothing on me. That I didn't save nothing. I threw it all out there for people to see. That's just what I think. Like, I wanna go whenever leaving everything here. And video that I say to somebody, like, bro, do this, empty. I want to die empty with all the knowledge, low or, I mean, small or big, poquito, mucho, like, with all the knowledge out there. That's just what I think. Someone's calling? No.
Half and half, Arizona. He was trying to get me to drink an energy drink, and I'm like, bro, it's 8 o'clock. At night,
Alani.
I'm old. I mean, I'm not old, but some of you guys, they like to joke around, like these guys, the guys from Madison, because I'm older than them, but I look younger than them.
Shut up.
Uh, but um, but no, yeah. I think hip hop was basically my life for the past 20 years, man, or more. Um, and
Do you
it's
apply hip hop to your regular? I mean, I know the answer, but they don't. Do you apply hip hop to your regular life?
Yeah, of course. I mean, I breathe, speak, sleep hip hop. I mean, it's still part of me. Um, Not as much as I used to because I don't dance and I don't really get out as much as anymore because of how my life is set up now. But it's still part of me. And like I said, like I when I came back and none of the guys I used to dance with are around here anymore, so it's kind of I don't really dance as much. But I wanted to still keep in tune with my roots and my culture, so I still DJ. And even though I do a lot of Latin nights, my goal is to eventually, do more hip hop events or, somewhat like when I DJ at the market, that's hip hop. I DJ, even though I'm not playing hip hop, but the way I play it and the way I spin, the way I transition, the way I tell that story, it has a hip hop feel to it. And because like just the way I might take a track, like an old '60s track, and put a more of a boom bap beat to it, or I mix it with a boom bap track,
Like
yeah. So it's just it's still yeah, I'm still part of it. It's still part of my life. Even the way I dress or the way I talk, or it's just it's part of me. It's how I grew up, and I don't think it's ever gonna leave me. That's my goal is to pass that down to my girls. And
What do you think about now that you mention your girls? Um, like it's kind of like a not like well yeah it's passing like legacy. What do you think about the DJ live or like this like DJ live with a family?
well, it's I'll say this. I always wasn't. I wouldn't say like I wasn't a bad father growing up, but I wasn't a perfect father. My first daughter, I have a lot of respect for my oldest daughter because I kind of put her through a lot at a young age because I wasn't completely all there. And I was there. I saw her. She basically was with me and lived with me. But the thing is, I didn't always put her first because I was young and I was traveling a lot. I was dancing a lot. I was competing a lot. And that was my life, and that was my goal, was to be this dope breaker. And I was still a father, and I was a good father. I think back and I'm like, I should have put more time and effort into her than I did. But now that I don't, that was another reason when I moved back. I was like, I don't want to do. It's gonna be one or the other. I can't DJ and break at the same time, and so I kind of stepped away from the dancing to give myself more time with my kids. And she grew up around that culture, so she knows it. She's not it's not her favorite. She likes to watch me. She likes going to the events. But I try to get her into it. I have clips of her dancing and stuff like that. But
we see people that follow you and the like what you post. We've seen her in videos, whenever you DJ and stuff.
Yeah. So
whenever you put clips out there.
The breaking she liked, but it wasn't really for her, and I didn't want to put it on her. So like, I was like, if she wants to learn, I'll teach her it. And the DJing, now that I have two girls, the two girls, they love music and they love hearing what I play. They love going to the market just to hear me because they love the music that I play. And it's obviously because they grew up around that music. And it's crazy. My 10-year-old, likes Lisa, or, like stuff like that, like old school music, and she knows the lyrics, and I think that's cool, and it's dope to see that. Will they DJ? I don't know.
Yeah, I was just gonna ask you.
I've asked them, and they play around with my my tables and my controllers sometimes, but it's never like a serious thing, and I don't want to make them or push it,
It's
pressure
whatever
them. It's if they like really like, hey, one day, like, hey, can you really teach me how to do this? Of course, but I'm not like, hey, you should DJ. I don't want to put that on them, but I always tell them like, hey, if you guys want to go play on it, go play on it. They do it here and there, and but yeah, my oldest loves hearing me play. She likes my music, and once in a while she'll be like, hey, can I be in the video in the back dancing or just jamming out?
Does she ask you, or you?
She asks me, or sometimes I'll ask her.
She just appears.
Yeah. It kind of started like that, when I would be downstairs shooting my video, she would come down and
check what you were doing.
Yeah, and then she'd be like, she's like, you're making a video? And I'm like, yeah. And then she'd be like, can I be in it next time? I'm like, yeah. But then sometimes she'd be scared.
I think that's dope as fuck, to be honest.
She'd be scared, or she'll be nervous, and I'd be like, just vibe out. You don't have to do anything. And I think after the first one, and then it blew up, and I told her it blew up, she kind of was like, oh, let's do more.
Go check those reels, man. The recent one when they're in the patio, that's dope.
But yeah, my goal, but an awesome goal would be that to teach them one day, but I'm not gonna put it on them. If they want to learn, I'll teach them, but if they don't want to do it, it's just having them, just knowing that the fact that they like music and they like when I play, when they go to the market and watch me play, like, because that's usually the only time they can really see me play, or if I'm at home, they like it. I know my oldest, she thinks I'm famous, and I'm not famous, but like a lot of people know me in town. So like, when people say hi, and she's like, everybody. She thinks it's cool, and then she thinks that because I'm her dad, she likes that. So.
What I see is like, like this, it's memories that she will take, bro. Like, to me, the music that I used to listen to whenever I was little, that my dad or my mom will play at the car, or that my mom will play and like, cleaning Sundays, like on all that stuff. Right now that I listen to it is nostalgic, and I like that, because it brings me back, like good memories,
yeah.
And all these things, like trips or whatever, so it's always good, like to,
yeah,
like that's what music causes on me, when like that's what that music is nostalgic, and like it brings you back to like, here or there, like things that you remember, in a good way.
No, I think it's cool. I even took her to a Wu-Tang concert when we were in Minnesota, because she knew, like, I used to play when I used to break. I used to break to Wu-Tang a lot because I really loved that old 90s boom bap feel, and that was my favorite style of music to get down to. And so I listened to Wu-Tang a lot, and she'd always hear like the Wu-Tang.
ODB?
Yeah, they were really big into martial arts, so a lot of their songs have like little intros with like ninjas and martial arts stuff. And there was one that it starts off and it's like Tiger Style, and she used to always be like Tiger Style, and then she knew the Wu-Tang symbol. She would always say Wu-Tang, Wu-Tang. So like there was one time they had a free event in Minnesota and Wu-Tang was there, so I took her to go see them, and I don't think she really understood who they were.
She was what was it, 5, 4 years old?
Yeah, she must have been like 4 years old, or maybe 3. I don't remember.
You got pictures of it?
I think I do. I think I got a picture of her there. But yeah, and she, when we were in New York, she saw Busta Rhymes. There was a song that she likes by Busta Rhymes, and I was like, dude, this is the guy that plays that song. And we were in New York for this event. It was a free event in New York, and it was actually a DJ event, one of the dopest hip hop, just any type of event. If you're gonna see a DJ event, and
That's the one.
yeah, it's the one. So we went to Scratch Bastard's barbecue, and coolest thing ever. But yeah, Busta Rhymes came out of nowhere. It was like a surprise guest, and he did a couple of his songs, and so we got to see that.
So you mentioned you used to travel a lot. What countries do you go to, or like places, and did what?
So back in the day when I would travel a lot, I went to Mexico a lot. I've been to Colombia, basically Mexico and Colombia. So I went to Mexico. I got a homie out there that's really involved with the hip hop scene. He's actually really one of the bigger known names in Mexico City.
You can get my shout out.
For breaking everything. Shout out to Agni. Cool guy. I met him here in Rockford, and then he was always like, let's go, coming out to Mexico, come chill. So I kicked it with him a lot.
Cybertruck shop.
And so like anytime I'd go down there and visit my family, I'd hang out with him too. And obviously he would show me around and introduce me to different hip hop heads and stuff like that. So I met a lot of Mexican DJs, a lot of different hip hop people. And then we were in Mexico for a competition, and there was a crew from Colombia that came, and they chilled with us afterwards. And then they invited us to Colombia. And so, and it's what the cool thing about the hip hop community and culture is, like, if you're a DJ or a b-boy and other people in different countries, you have a place to stay, you have a place to hang out. You'll never be left out. Like, I could go to like Japan and hit up some DJs or breakers, and they'll be like, yeah, you can come chill with us. Like, it's just, even though I don't know them, it's just like it's just how it is. It's cool. It's a universal language. Hip hop is a universal language. You don't have to speak the same language, but since you guys do the same thing, it's all love and it's all
Remember
cool.
what I said before? Aprender, enseñar, compartir. Compartir, papi.
So we went so I'd go to Colombia a lot, and I met a couple cool cats out there. And then when I would be about here, I started inviting a lot of my homies that I met in Colombia and Mexico, so they would come to the U.S. I'd actually pay for them to come, just because, I want to give them the opportunity to be in America. And it was cool. It's just, we'd hang out, and it's just a cool experience, and they'd teach me a lot of Spanish, or they'd teach me different music from their countries, and you learn stuff. It's really cool. It was, that's one thing I miss about being part of that, is just,
But they didn't really do a good job teaching Spanish.
yeah, I guess not. Yeah, I'm still learning. But yeah, I mean, it was cool. So like, it's cool, and they would take me to parties out there in the clubs, and so it's cool to see, and it's awesome. I was really lucky to have that, in my life, and be able to do that, and I still do. Like, I could go to Colombia right now or Mexico, and
You got a place to stay?
I got a place to stay or hang out. I mean, I have family in Mexico, but in Colombia I don't. But in Colombia I could go out there and hit up some people, and they would, let me chill. So that's really cool. Speaking of that, I think one of my goals for me, and maybe for us, is to eventually travel to different countries or different states and DJ.
Throw events there?
Yeah. Or just be like, yo, I'm in town for the weekend, or I'm here, and if I go to Mexico and hit up my friend, like, yo, find me a place to spin at, I'll just do it for free, just because I just want to. Just for fun.
Anecdotic.
Yeah, just to do it,
Now that you touched that subject, how do you see? I mean, we started not really more a year ago, but we started like spinning together for almost 2 years, right? Kind of.
Yeah.
Where do you what have you how you I don't know, what do you think so far about the trip of these 2 years?
The journey, the adventure.
The adventure, yeah.
It's been awesome so far. Like I said, I gotta give it a shout out to to CHOKO, because I wouldn't be where I am with DJing if it wasn't for him. He really motivated me to do what I'm doing, and and there's other people, like I said, like Eric, and these cats really brought me back to what I love doing, and I don't think if it was for them, I wouldn't be doing it. And to push me more and to do more and to better myself, and it's I think that, but I think the journey's been awesome, and there's been bumps, and
I feel for 2 years we've had
we've been going up.
A lot of things, like that we've been like kind of like wiggling and like.
Yeah, I mean, it's a journey, man. It's an adventure. We go up and down, but I feel like we've been going up a lot. And I mean, even you and me, and we, this guy pisses me off sometimes. It's a learning process. Sometimes I feel like the big brother. I got to spank him or hit him sometimes because he just doesn't listen. But I still love him at the end of the day. You might have heard him. He was always like, Lalo's gonna yell at me. Lalo's gonna yell at me. I yell at him a lot.
It's true.
But no, I think we work really, really well together. I think I learned a lot from him, and he's learned a lot from me. And
yes, sir.
I think it's been awesome. And I can't wait to see where this goes. And I love doing it. And I don't think there's anybody else I would want to do it with. I feel like we should have done this a long time ago, but we, even though we knew each other, but like I said, I moved to Minnesota before he started DJing, and and
what I think is like, it's always having a partner, a business partner, or like, let's put the business work aside, having somebody that has the same mentality. It's hard to find and to work with, but something that we have in common, it's that we see and the end result of the process before the money. Like we see like where we want to go, what we're gonna do, and how we're gonna do it before we even talk about prices. Or like, yes, that comes later, but sometimes that can cause problems. Like, I don't know, it's dangerous. Money is dangerous. It's good and whatnot, but what I focus more is on like, okay, this is what we're gonna do and this is how we want to deliver it. And I feel we both are in the same channel, and that.
At times, not all the time, but yes, we are. I mean,
but whenever we're not, either me or you tell me like, bro, this is not how it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
No. Like,
I think we work really well together. I listen to him, he listens to me, and I give him the room to speak or the room to come up with ideas, and he does that with me too. And then there's a lot of times we work together. We put our minds together and it comes out the way we want to. I think we do. I like to say sometimes I feel like CHOKO's the boss. I was telling like, you're the boss, man. You're in charge. You come up with it. I put a lot of pressure on him because, like I said, I want him to learn, but I also want him to grow and also, give him the opportunity to do what he wants. Even though I might not agree, sometimes I just go with it. But when I really don't agree, I'll put my input. But besides like the business side of it, I don't see CHOKO as a business partner really. I see him as a friend. I always have, and we do have this business together. But at the end of the day, I don't really see it as a business or we're business partners. I just see us we're just two homies that want to do something with our talents, and I think that's what we're doing, and it just happens to be a business, but
and brings more people together.
Yeah. And I see a lot of growth in us, and I see a lot of potential with us and what we're doing, and I think we're just going to continue to keep doing what we need to do and bring you guys the best parties and events we can. And shout out to all the Madison cats for supporting and helping us, as far as, everything. You know,
Yeah, this is a good time to thank, you guys. If you have been part of, you know the whole movement or the whole, event industry, or like this, like if you help us share a flyer, if you help us by going to the event, if you help us by promoting it, like by being part of it, and this is what this, enjoy the journey slash podcast is about, is, bringing people that have something to say, that have something to add, that been in the industry, that are part of the industry, of all different perspectives, because okay, we are DJs, we are, produce events, organizers, however you want to call it at this point, but there's nightclub owners, that see it from a different perspective, like there is all these types of photographers, videographers, bartenders, managers, performers, all these, and this is what it's all about. That way, you share your experience, but going back is like to thank you guys, for like supporting, what we do, our events, and yeah, I mean, once again, we go back to, July 19, anniversary party at Roxy.
Yeah, I mean, if it wasn't for the Madison community, we wouldn't be where we're at. So thank you. Shout out to Nene, MVP, Ray. Shout out to Chuki, MOB, Rob. Shout out to
The street team,
our own street team, now Ritmo team.
Crystal,
all of you guys.
Chelly,
Kimmy. Everybody,
Jesse, Nan,
yeah, everyone in the team
everybody
that's helped us out, and also shout out to our, people with the behind the cameras that have been helping us out, like Tony, Brandon, JP, all you guys. Thank you, and shout out to Merchant, for giving us the opportunity. Shout out to Roxy and Ness,
yep,
for help, giving those opportunities as well, and. Shout out to Machetes too, even though we're not there anymore, but shout out them for, giving us the opportunity to start somewhere. And then shout out to Maka
yes sir,
when she was with us, helping us out. Shout out to, anybody that, helped us in any kind of way. Thank you. The Janesville people, our Janesville
Bottle Girls.
Our Janesville crew, our old Bottle Girls, like everybody that's helped, anything, any type of way. So if we forgot you personally named, I'm sorry. There's a lot of you, but the majority of everybody that's helped in Madison, Janesville, anywhere, Beloit,
Robin.
Thank you. Yes, Robin. Get your hair cut.
Yeah, get your haircut. Shout out to Robin. He just had a kid.
So thank you all. We appreciate you, and just our regular followers and people who just like to come and party with us. Thank
Yes.
you for being a part of that and coming through and supporting us. And then Chuckles forgot to shout out to Buzzball. Nah, I'm just kidding. But yeah,
Buzzball sponsor.
No, don't sponsor him. You know what's funny? Janesville's not very big at all. It probably takes like less than 10 minutes to go from one end of the town to the other side of town. And you know how in the beginning of the video he asked me where we're going, so I tell him where we're going.
We're already passing. Like
he's driving like it's like an hour away, but we're just driving around town looking dumb as fuck right now.
Wait, so to end up the episode, big shout out to Lalo for helping me, with this first episode. I didn't want nobody else to be the first person sitting on this place, but Lalo. I didn't want nobody to be the first one besides this guy. Huge shout out for always supporting me, to believe in this project, to believe in putting this together. you know, and most likely for his friendship, you know, and his guidance. His, you know, I see him as a mentor, as a friend, you know, and, you know, big shout out, you know, I love you, bro. And yeah, I didn't want nobody else to be the first one on this episode by you. So to close this first episode, I have some questions that I title "Quick Mixing with DJ Lalo." So the first thing that comes to your mind, you know, what was your first controller?
Controller? They didn't have controllers back then.
What was your first?
So when I first started with music, when I started fucking around with music, I used old school boombox, and I would put cassette tapes into the boombox, and I would transition song to song like that. And then
That's beat matching right there.
yeah, so I started off with cassette tapes, and
a sing button.
and then I started having a lot of CDs. So back then they had what kind of would be like a controller, but it was a CD where you could, like a CD player, but they would have 2 CD players, one on each side, and then it had a mixer in the middle, and you'd put a CD in and you could mix the CDs together. So that was like the controller back then, but it wasn't really a controller. So you would have to carry a shit ton of CDs.
That's where crates come from. The Serato crates, the name of crates or files.
No, it comes from vinyl crates.
But like having a bunch of like.
So vinyls. Well, I mean, I didn't. So I had the CD stuff first. Then I had enough money to buy a turntable. So then I bought 2 turntables and a mixer. They were the Stanton ones, or like a Newmark. I don't know, some cheap ass shit. But you know, it worked.
Were they battery power?
No, they were.
Oh, okay. They weren't cheap then.
I mean, they were the cheaper one. They weren't like Techniques. So I got that. I had bought vinyl. Started playing with vinyl, and then I think. I forgot the year. It might have been close to early 2000s when Serato came out with the Serato box.
Mm-hmm.
And then you could hook it up to a laptop, put your music on a laptop, and then this box would basically transfer the music to the box to the turntables, and you could start playing your music off your laptop and to the turntables and stuff like that. So that was like the first new thing for DJing, and then I got that, and then eventually as time went on, DJing, obviously new shit started coming off, and then I finally, when I worked in Minnesota, actually I worked for Puma, and so shout out to Puma. You might have to bleep this out, cut this out, because I basically stole their turntables, their techniques they had.
You borrowing for an
yeah, so basically they had, so when I worked there for a while, so I got really cool with the manager. Me and the manager were homies and stuff like that. And he had me clean out the back room once. So I cleaned out the back room, and I find this black coffin, huge ass case, and it had Technique turntables in it. And
are those the ones you
got? I think so. Yes, because I had Techniques before that, but they were used. They were like hand-me-downs that didn't really work that well. So what I did was when I got these turntables, so basically Puma had these turntables in the back, and I asked my manager, I was like, yo, can I have these? He's like, well, you can't have them, but you can borrow them, you know. And he's like, because nobody really knows we have them anyway, so like, just when we want them back, just bring it back. And I was like, okay, cool.
They're never asking for them back.
And then so I've had them, and then eventually the Puma store in the mall got closed down because they were opening up like a Puma outlet mall down the street. So nobody was shopping at the main store because it was kind of pricey. So they ended up closing the store, and guess what? They never asked for those tables back. So I just kept them.
We ain't gonna delete this part.
So I kept those turntables. I got them fixed up because they were a little whack, but they were still, in good shape. So I took them to this place. They fixed them up for me, and they run like brand new. I still got them, and yeah, so I got some free techniques from Puma basically. And
so shout out to Puma.
Yeah. But yeah, I still have those. They're my babies, because they're basically a good memory, and they're basically my first ones. I had some before that, but like I said, they weren't in the best shape, and they were just someone that just gave me. They had them, so I ended up selling those to somebody because I just I didn't really need two of them, so I kept the Puma ones, because the Puma ones were in better shape. I just needed to fix some wires and stuff like that, so I got those fixed, and they were basically brand new. But yeah, I still have them, and the funny story is that you brought up controller. For being a hip hop head and I was always against controllers, because I was like, that shit ain't real. That shit is not real DJing,
Classic
whatever.
OG.
And I was always like against it. I'd rather bring my big ass fucking turntables to the club versus play on somebody's CDJs or controllers. But it wasn't until, honestly, I started hanging out with this dude, and I saw the benefit of a controller, and now I love my controller. I have the Rev 7. The reason why I got the Rev 7 is because it has that turntable feel to it. But yeah, controllers, honestly, I hated them for the past, but now I love having it because it's so convenient. And
that brings me back to the next one. Favorite controller?
My Rev 7.
That's your current one.
Yeah, but my favorite turntable would be my PLXRs right now, because they're sick. But controller Rev 7, turntable would be PLXRs, and then mixer would be the Pioneer S11.
Favorite music to spin, music genre to spin?
Oh man, there's too many. I like them all. I love.
Give me 3.
Ah man, 3. Funk.
I saw that coming miles away.
R&B. And oh man, there's so many. I don't know. I mean, it's between. I'd say Motown.
Okay. What do you like to listen to and jam, but don't play as much?
Oldies. Like really old, like Chicano, lowrider, cruising type of music. I play at the market, but I don't play it as much as I want to. Even at the market, I don't play as much because it's really chill and slow. But it's good to listen or play here and there. But I listen to it more by myself versus playing as much. But
3 songs that you have on repeat right now.
I don't know, because I don't ever really listen to the same song. Because honestly, when I listen to music, I don't listen to tracks, I listen to mixes. So I would say there's 3 DJs that I listen to right now is Nick Bike, Scratch Bastard, and DJ Ortiz.
Favorite song intros of all time?
Favorite song intro, so just like the beginning?
The beginning, the intro. You can give me a couple.
I'd say by MOP, And It Up, James Brown. Any James Brown track, man, he always has a funky intro. And I'd say maybe like Hector Lavoe track, like a salsa track. Cause sometimes I just love the intro of the classic salsa. But I do like cumbia intros too, though. Yo, I love when the sonidero is on the mic and says some cool shit, and then the beat drops. So I don't know.
With the echo voice.
Yeah, it's either between a salsa track or a cumbia track.
Serato or virtual DJ?
Serato all the way.
Underrated record you play but other DJs don't play?
Funk.
Best BPM to spin? BPM is beats per minute.
Yeah. Probably between 95 and 100.
Best opening song to start your DJ set?
Right now, I like this this mix mashup with It depends on the night, what type of night I'm doing. But my favorite one right now is Jackson 5. I Want You, I think. And then goes into what does it go into? Hey Ladies by Travis Porter, I think it is.
Favorite song to play right now, like during your set?
My favorite song right now to play,
The Popo.
I would say, I don't know, because it just depends on what night I'm doing.
Let's say oldies by goodies or hip hop, and give me like a Latin.
Okay, if I was doing the market, I would say something by Zapp and Roger. And then if I was doing a Latin night, I don't know, I love classic reggaeton, but I really like that flow and the reggaeton beats from what's his name, Floyd
Minor.
Yeah, Floyd Minor.
Your favorite song to play right? No, that's one, right? Which one you think is the hottest song right now? The hottest track?
For what genre?
I don't know. Which one do you think is the hottest? If you would have asked me last year, I would say freaking They're Not Like Us. And I was fucking everywhere.
Honestly, I don't know, because the hottest songs that are out, I usually don't like, so.
No, but I'm not saying you like. It's the hottest song right now.
I know, I don't know. I mean,
So, like, skip that question.
it could be, I don't know, a Bad Bunny track. It could be fucking, I don't know who's popping right now. I don't know.
Okay. What do you have a favorite transition or routine that you do?
No, I mean, I like to wordplay. Well, I don't do as much with my Latin, but with my English beats, I do wordplay, and I think I like
You
some
did
of
a
the
punny one.
Yeah, there's a couple wordplays that I like to do. I have a couple, but I don't know like which one's my favorite.
So go check out his profile, DJ Lalo 89. Weddings, corporate, festivals / concerts, or nightclubs.
Festivals.
Song that brings you back to your childhood.
A song?
Yeah.
I'd say Donna Summers. Any Donna Summers track, because my mom was super big into disco music, and I remember she'd always jam out to disco music. And I'd say any Donna Summers, or any 90s Euro like upbeat tracks like Crystal Waters, Gypsy Women, or who else? Or like just that type of genre. That stuff reminds me of my mom. She used to always jam out to that. And then I don't know, anytime I hear like classic rock or rock music, it reminds me of my dad. And so yeah.
Something you always do before or during or after you gig. Something that you always do. Like either you had to take a piss before, I don't know. Something that a routine, like something that you have to do, otherwise you won't feel like you'll feel off the rest of the year.
I think check for new music. I always try to check to see if there's something new that I can add to my playlist that night. Shower. Make sure I freshen up. Get a haircut. I think get a haircut. If I don't get a haircut, then I feel like I'm like naked or something. Like I have to always get a haircut before I do a gig.
That's how I feel with no glasses, to be honest. Like that movie, Big Daddy.
I can see that. It's like I don't think I've ever seen you DJ with all your glasses.
You watched
bro.
the movie Big Daddy?
Yeah,
Like he has like you gotta wear your glasses. Nobody can see you.
that's you.
3 tips or advice that you will give to a beginner DJ.
I'd say it's tip one. Be consistent. 2, practice and don't give up. And then 3 would be, don't stick to just one genre of music. Listen to all types of music and, be open-minded to new things and different things. Yeah.
What do you think is your best skill as a DJ?
Music knowledge. Knowing music.
I back that shit. Yep. And 3 DJs that you want to recommend the audience, like you want to recommend them to go check out. It can be more. I mean, it's just.
I feel like a lot of the DJs I like, I think a lot of people.
I mean, you already mentioned 3.
Yeah, and I think out of those 3, I think I would recommend for everybody is probably DJ Ortiz from Houston, Texas, just because he's good at playing Latin music, but he's also really good at playing English music, and he's really good at putting those 2 combined together.
Yeah, go check him out, man. Straight from Houston. One of the questions was what do you listen whenever you're driving alone? But it's pretty much, he already said it 2-3 times right here. He listens to mixes. You jump in Lalo's car and it's always a DJ mix. Some sort of like Spanish, English, R&B. Like there's no genre right there. It's just DJs mixing, and always on the lookout for new music. So yeah, that was quick mixing questions with DJ Lalo. Anything else you want to add, my guy?
Yeah, I just want to say, on a side note, if you ever see me DJing or see me out, I know I look pissed or I don't look like I want to talk to you. That's just how I look, especially when I'm DJing, just because I'm so focused into the art of DJing and what I'm doing. I love it, but I'm focused because I want to make sure I play good. Unlike this guy, he's a party animal. He's like, he's drinking, he's dancing,
Hey, chill.
Nah, I was kidding. He's all over the place. I think some of you can agree. But no, I mean, like, I'm not mean, I'm not rude. If you want to come say hi, I'll say hi. But I might just be like, super quick because I'm really focused. I know some people have said that to me, like, you look hard to approach, and I'm sorry if I ever blown you off, but that's just how I look. I have that look, but I try not to.
What do you think about introvert? Like there is a lot of DJs out there, and there's a lot of performers out there that in real life or like off stage they're introvert. That they like like they're shy or like they're just introvert. They they don't like to talk or speak up or talk loud. What are your thoughts on that? Because I mean, I don't know, you're an introvert, but at the same time, since I know you're not really. You're like there, like in the middle between being an extrovert and introvert.
I think I used to be really outgoing more before. I think is now that I get older, I just try to be more chill and humble, and give people that respect of like, hey, I'm here, but I also don't want to be too much. I don't know. I mean, I think it's just where I'm at in life. Like, it depends on the mood and where I'm at too. Like, sometimes I could be, more extrovert, more introvert, depending on.
No, but I'm saying on stage.
Oh.
Like, a lot of performers
I
on
guess
stage are, of course, they're performing.
Yeah, I don't know. For me, like I said, I'm focused, so I feel like it's just me being me. Like there'll be times I'm spinning, like I'm super focused, but then there'll be times I'm spinning, I'm like, I'm just, I'll be vibing. Like I'll step away from the booth and start getting down and dancing and vibing out. So I guess it just depends on my mood and where I'm at and what I'm doing, and just, I don't know. And also depends on who's around me. If they're wild out, I might be wild out too. But if it's just me, maybe I might just be more like, oh, it's just me back here, so I might just be focused. But I guess it just depends.
Anything else you wanna add, bro?
Yeah, I'm gonna real quick do another shout out. So if you want to edit this one, use this one. But there was a name I forgot to drop, and it's an important name. So I want to shout out again to my Madison people. So Ray, Nene, MVP, Juan, the producer.
Juan, yes.
So shout out to Juan. You don't know him, get to know him.
First name Juan.
You know, those guys in general, I feel like I just want to shout out them out because not only have they helped us, but they also have their own thing going on, and I think they're a big name in Madison, and what they're doing is awesome, and I'm so glad they work with us and they chose us to help them be a part of what they're doing. And
yes, sir.
You know, I love those guys, and I see a lot of myself in them when I was there, you know, a lot younger, even though they're not that much younger, but they are younger than me, and what they're doing. Like,
I mean, besides Nene, like he dresses up like he's in high school.
They all do. Even though, I mean, I guess I do too. I mean, but yeah, shout out to those guys, man. I mean, they're dope. You know, they're dope. You know, with their music, with their lyrics. You know, what they bring to the table, what they bring to Madison, their energy. You know, and Juan. I mean, Juan does a lot of work for them and work. You know, not just them, other people too. You know, he produces music and. He's the backbone of everything, and I think those guys don't get a lot of credit for what they do, and they deserve that credit because, you know, they make that music, they put that shit together, you know. But yeah, shout out to those guys, man. They, you know, they're dope, and, you know, shout out to Chuki for, you know, his comedy stuff and, you know, helping us out, and, you know, and bringing that culture together of music and comedy together. I think that's dope. So, you know, shout out to what he's doing and support Chuki and what he does in Madison.
He shows, because also Chuki has a community of comedians.
Yeah.
You know, like he's like putting together and he's collaborating and, you know, showcasing too, bringing new talent, new faces to the stages that he is, you know, doing his comedy sets at. So that's what it's all about, man. You know, that's what it's all about.
Yeah, and, you know, and the people he work with, like MOB and Rob, like those dudes are dope, man, and what they're doing, you know, and it's dope that they incorporate us as DJs to be part of that, and I think that's dope because, you know, a lot of people don't do that, you know, so I think it's dope that they incorporate that, you know, the essence of hip hop and music and, you know, working together, and then the photography, videography people in Madison, you know, Brandon, Tony, JP, shout out to them, and go follow them too, you know, and check out their work, and if you ever need work, you know, hit them up because they do dope shit, they have dope shit. So
and we're not the ones saying it. People are booking them to go out of state. You know, we saw Tony going to freaking Colorado to do some filming and, you know, get some shots. You know, my boy Brandon, you know, getting out there, you know, helping us out with Norteñas and Reggaeton. Shout out to Grupo Eficaz, you know, and all the guys that, you know, make Eficaz, you know, like go out there. So shout out to them, you know, and JP, you know, with his pictures and stuff like that, putting, you know, content together for Chuki. You know, like it's not us saying that, oh, you know, go check them out. It's like other people like get him, you know, too, which I'm happy that that's happening, you know, because of this momentum.
Yeah, you know, it's dope to see everybody work together and come together, you know, and put something on dope for Madison, and, you know, it's needed. And, you know, shout out to everyone. Shout out to, just like I said, you know, our own team of people that help us to share flyers or, you know, bring people in. And shout out to
Mario.
Yeah, shout out to Mario, man. If you don't know who Mario was our old door guy. You know, we're still cool with Mario. We still love Mario.
Yeah,
he just had to take a break because, you know, he needed a break. But shout out to Mario, man. Mario's my guy, the cool guy. You'd always be just chilling with his leather jacket, with his cigarro, you know, just ready to dance. But also, you know, we have Esme now, so shout out to her.
Shout out to Esme. Everybody, man.
There's so many people that we could shout out for. It's just too much of a long list. But we want to thank everybody, you know, and our followers, our supporters, you know, all the people that, book us or work with us, the venues and other DJs and other promoters. So you're gonna have to play a mix of both shout outs.
Yeah, like the list is extended. But thank you so much if you get into this part of the video. As I said, it's the first episode. More episodes to come with more people that we might have give a shout out to in this video. So yeah, once again, shout out to DJ Lalo and for being part of this first episode.
Let me give you guys one tip that you as non-DJs, just people that go to venues to listen to DJs or go to clubs or parties.
I know what you're gonna say. Fucking know you.
Don't request music. Don't show us.
Don't show the phone.
Okay, I've been nice. I've been nice, but there's gonna be a day I'm probably gonna get on that mic and I'm gonna embarrass you. Do not do that. DJs don't like that. All right. Maybe a wedding DJ, but if I'm at a bar or a club and someone requests music, or I'm at a festival or something, and you come up to me and request, I don't care if you're 8 years old or you're 100 years old, do not request a song. Because there's
guy,
people, you don't understand. If I'm playing songs, it's not that I could probably play your song like that. Do I want to? No, because we DJ a certain way where we want to go into music a certain way. We have a flow going. Like, you're gonna ruin that. You're ruining that. And plus, usually, sorry, it's a half and half. Usually, we play that song. One, we already played it. Two,
it's not the time.
Well, yeah, but two, when I play it, you're not dancing, or you're not even there. You might have left. You might be in the bathroom, whatever. And three, if you really want to want me to play that, pay me, pay us to play that song.
So connecting this is like the night of event has a flow. So if you come to us at 10:30 when we are not in our peak of the night, we are like taking the night towards the peak time, and you come with like a song that is hot right now, most likely we're gonna play it maybe. Because it's a hot song, but it's not a time to play it. The night has a flow. We as entertainers, as performers, as DJs, that's what we get paid for. And that's why we do what we do. Because we probably know the time to play that song, how to play it, when to play it, what to say before playing it, dress it up. Put a little dressing here and there, and we're not gonna play. Oh, can you play next? Ain't gonna happen.
Also, read the flyer. Read the flyer. If the flyer says hip hop night, don't come to the event.
Request
for for Mexican music or reggaeton or whatever. Just because you know that we play that type of music doesn't mean I'm gonna play it. I know for me, if I'm at an event and on the flyer it says I'm going to be playing this type of music, don't request music that has nothing to do with that type of genre. Also,
whenever we do an event that,
like if it doesn't say we're going to play with reggaeton or have like a Spanish name to it, we're probably not going to play Spanish music. But we might, because we play Spanish music. If it's like an open format night where we can play whatever. I mean, how I play. People, like if you go to my page, I play all types of music. So if you see me on the flyer and it doesn't say what I'm playing, I'm probably gonna mix all types of stuff. But if it's on there and it says like perreo night or whatever, Latin night, whatever, I'm gonna play Latin music.
Don't come and request T-Pain.
Yeah, I mean it's just like you're gonna throw the vibe off, So don't be the one to ruin the night. You're gonna make me ruin the night by playing what you want to hear. But not everybody wants to hear what you want to hear. So, and if you want to be the DJ, then go get yourself a fucking controller or turntable. Learn how to DJ.
$2,000.
Then play your fucking music that you want to play. Don't come and request any type of bullshit song or whatever. I don't, just don't do that. Don't do that to any DJ. DJs don't like that, okay? I mean, just those, maybe wedding DJs will do that. Private DJs, maybe some bars and club DJs will do it.
Laptop DJs will do it definitely.
if you come up to me, if I'm me being nice would be just being like nodding my head like yeah I'll play it. I'm not gonna play it. I'm just doing that so you can get away. But
Something that I've been doing that I heard it from Nick Spinelli. He's a wedding DJ, you know, but like what I do is like, hey, I'm DJing, right? And somebody comes and be like, hey, can you play Bad Bunny? I just be like, I fucking love Bad Bunny, and I go back to mixing, and they don't know whether is he gonna play it or not. You know, just like, I fucking love Bad Bunny, and they're like, okay, and they just walk away.
But the idea is, if you see me or Chuck on a flyer, read the flyer so you know what type of night it is. If it doesn't say the name, it probably means we're probably gonna play all types of music, of mix of English, Spanish, whatever.
And most likely our crowd already knows. You know, that's why they go to the events. Most likely the person that is requesting something is somebody that doesn't know us, you know, like, because usually when we are our residencies, when we are Roxy, when we are Merchant, when we are, you know, places that we play often, we don't get that.
Like, if you don't like English music, then don't come if you know we're gonna play English music. It doesn't mean like we're gonna play English music all night. We might mix some Spanish music, and don't be that person like, oh, when are you gonna play Spanish music?
Vibe.
Just
enjoy
have
the
fun.
trip. Enjoy the trip.
Enjoy the music. You're there because you want to have a good time. You know how we play. You like if you come out because you like how we play, right? So let us play. Let us tell a story and give you the experience. Okay, so that's just my tip. Don't request music. I'm not saying you guys do it a lot. I mean, we haven't been. You know, I haven't been in Madison a lot where there's times when we get requests, not a lot, but this is just a tip for when you're out. Don't request music. I mean, there's some DJs that do like that. I don't know why, but I
guess
I don't. But
whenever you're playing something and they come request opposite, most likely it's not gonna happen. But there's also sometimes where you're playing bachata and then somebody will be like, oh, hey, can you play this one? And it's a bachata song. You know, then it's a different approach, I feel like. You know, there's a higher chance that I might play it, but still, if it's not a good, then you know, but like that's different, like I feel like.
Also, if Choko's not there, don't ask me if he's coming or gonna be there. I know a lot of people like Choko more than me, but I don't know. Sometimes he doesn't tell me if he's coming or not. Sometimes he does. Sometimes he surprises me. I don't know. Don't leave either, because he might show up. There's been times when people come up and ask me, like, oh my God, where's Choko? And I'd be like, I don't know. He's supposed to come. We'll see if he comes. Then you leave, and then he shows up. If you just waited 5 more minutes, he would have been there. You know? Get used to me, because I'm going to be there if he's not there. If you don't like me or not.
Not because you're saying bullshit. Peace out, gente. Thank you for watching. If you made it all the way into this part of the video, comment Don Lalo.
Don Lalo. Why has it got to be Don Lalo? Why can't it be Lalito?
Don Lalo / Lalito.
Also, we'll give a shout out to Jelly Chilies. Shout out to Chili, our worst team member, aka Araceli.
Video coming your way.
If you don't know Araceli, she's the one that thinks she runs Now Rimo, but she really doesn't. Let me give you a quick example who she is. You ready? Hi guys, this is Chili. So I'm gonna talk about my day today. I'm supposed to be in Cancun this weekend, but unfortunately I got sick because I went to a Now Rimo party and ended up leaving home with I don't know who because I got too fucking drunk. Now I'm sick.
Not Cancun.
Check out my outfit. Here's the outfit for today. That's chilling.
This is how many. I'm wearing 20 rings in my 10 fingers and 5 bracelets in my 2 hands, my 2 wrists. and I look so good.
She comes to our parties, but she can't
And-
even dance. She doesn't even know how to dance. She just comes for the free drinks.
But it don't matter because I look so good.
Nah, we're just messing with you, Chad. We love you.
We love you, Jelly.
But yeah,
Peace out. Just go like that. And
peace.
I've been wanting to fucking pee, bro.
Oh.
You going in?
Mm.
No?